Hello and thank you for joining us on ERi-TV. This is English News Broadcast here from the headquarters in Asmara, and I am Salem Brhane. First, the top stars. Two patients diagnosed positive for COVID-19 today. Governor of Northern Red Sea visits social service provision institutions. Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan ousted after losing vote in parliament. Israeli air raids target positions in Syria. We have an announcement from the Ministry of Health. Two patients have been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 in tests carried out today at testing stations in the central region. Accordingly, the total number of confirmed cases in the country to date has risen to 9,731. The total number of recovered patients stands at 9,625, while the number of deaths stands at 103. Ministry of Health, Asmara, 10th April 2022. The governor of the Northern Red Sea region, Mrs. Asmaret Abraha, conducted tour of inspection on 7th and 8th of April to the social service provision institutions put in place in the subzones of Galalo and Faro. In the course of her visit, Mrs. Asmaret held discussion with experts and administrators on the institutions and the way forward of the potable water project in Bada administrative areas that was put in place in 2010 and stopped operation in 2021. Upon visiting the potable water infrastructure in the administrative areas of Irafile and Gedem Lahazien, Foro subzone that have been damaged due to flooding, Mrs. Asmaret held discussion with concerned bodies on reviving and renovation of the projects. Mrs. Asmaret also visited the situations of educational and health institutions in Galalo subzone and discussed with administrators and teachers on ways and means of addressing the challenges the institutions are facing. Mrs. Asmaret also held discussion with village elders in Bada and Adaito on controlling harmful practices as well as on possibility to develop agricultural activities in the areas. Residents of Hambekta administrative areas, Sel Asab zone, said that as a result of regrouping of their villages, they have become beneficiaries of basic social service provisions, indicating that in the past they have been facing numerous problems due to their nomadic lifestyle. The residents said that after regrouping of their villages in 2017, they have been able to become beneficiaries of educational service as well as potable water supply. The residents also requested to upgrade the elementary school in their area to junior school, concerning the far location of their area from the administrative centers of the subzone, and put in place the remaining social service provision institutions. Hambekta administrative area is located 161 kilometers northwest of Rekab administrative center of Sel Asab zone. Following a short break, we'll be back with international news. Stay tuned. Imran Khan was dismissed today as Pakistan Prime Minister after losing a no-confidence vote in Parliament following weeks of political turmoil. It was not immediately clear when a new premier will be chosen, but Pakistan Muslim League chief Shahbaz Sharif was almost certain to be picked to lead the nuclear-armed nation of 220 million people. No prime minister has ever served has ever served a full term in Pakistan, but Khan is the first to lose office this way. Acting Speaker Sardar Ayaz Sadiq said that 174 lawmakers had voted in favor of the motion. Consequently, the vote of no confidence has passed. Khan, 69, tried everything he could to stay in power, including dissolving parliament, calling a fresh election, but the Supreme Court deemed all his action illegal last week and ordered the assembly to reconvene the vote. There was drama right until the midnight deadline ordered by the Supreme Court, with the Speaker of the Assembly, a Khan loyalist, resigning at the last minute. In the end of session continued through today with a replacement. Khan, who was not present, lost his majority in 342 seats assembly through deflection of coalition partners and members of his own party, and the opposition had needed just 172 votes to dismiss him. Whoever takes over will still have to deal with the issues that bedeviled Khan's soaring inflation, a feeble rupee, and crippling debt. Militancy is also on the rise, with Pakistan's Taliban emboldened by the return to power last year of the Red Line Islamist group in neighboring Afghanistan. Israel launched new air raid on location in Syria, where Iran's Revolutionary Guards and Lebanon's Hezbollah have presence, a human rights monitoring group said. Loud blasts were reported yesterday evening in the vicinity of Masyaf city in Syria's western Hama province. Several missiles hit targets in the area where Revolutionary Guards and Hezbollah militias are based. This is according to the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights. The missile bombardment was the eighth attack by Israel on target inside Syria so far this year. The monitor added, the most recent being in the early March, when explosions were reported in the vicinity of Damascus airport. Israel has staged hundreds of attacks on targets inside government-controlled Syria across the year, but rarely acknowledges or discusses such operations. Tel Aviv has indicated that it targets the base of Iran-allied militias such as Hezbollah, which has fighters deployed in Syria on the side of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad's force in the decade-old civil war. The Iranian presence on its northern frontier is a red line for Israel, justifying its attack on the target inside Syria. In December, Israeli fighter jets fired missiles at the Syrian port of Latakia, a rare attack on the vital facility for imports into the war-ravaged country. The air raid damaged shipping containers but did not inflict casualties. This is according to reports. And now a reminder for the top stories. Two patients diagnosed positive for COVID-19 today. Governor of Northern Red Sea visits social service provision institutions. Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan ousted after losing vote in parliament. Israeli air raids target position in Syria. That's all with the news for this evening. Thanks for being with us.